Anyway, Unforgiven. I thought it's a strange film in that I know all the beats. I'm waiting for people to kind of slot into their characters.
Right.
Here's a Morgan Freeman guy. Here is a Gene Hackman guy. But man, this film is so gorgeous.
There you go.
That I just could not. I was waiting for the next set of images to come out because it was just sumptuous.
It's beautiful.
Done.
Every
well
single moment of this movie is fucking beautiful.
Yes. Even the bloody parts are amazing.
I was very grateful because I guess it had been a really long time since I saw the original, so I actually was kind of way behind on like, oh, this is the thing that's going to happen next. I couldn't fucking remember, so it was all fresh.
Yeah, it was vaguely familiar. I knew the story.
Vaguely familiar.
No, I saw the original like 5 times, so I knew every single moment of this film.
I knew every single moment, and it was interesting the changes they made for the Japanese version.
That made it interesting.
Well, let's talk about that. Which ones? What ones?
Swords? How about swords?
Swords versus guns.
No. The fact that it deals with the Anu.
Yes.
Like the reason I thought of this was because of watching Nightingale. And Nightingale is a forgotten is a story of a forgotten genocide, and the Ainu is a story of a forgotten genocide. Like the Japanese have completely destroyed the Ainu culture. There are 300 or 400 full-blooded Ainu left in the entire country of Japan, because they sent the Waji samurai who lost their jobs when the shogunate period ended. This is the Meiji Restoration, sent them to northern Japan,
to Hokkaido.
Right.
Yeah, to Hokkaido to settle it. And they used the word colonize. Like at the time, they actually used the word colonize.
It was already part of Japan, but they had to
It wasn't.
Oh, it was not.
No,
it was an unclaimed island.
Yeah, it was an unclaimed island, and they did it to stop the Russians from taking it. And so they just sent these people who had lost their jobs as being soldiers up there to do whatever.
You couldn't find a more perfect place to transplant a Western.
Yes.
Who knew Japan looked like that? I fucking didn't.
Yeah, it's
so
beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's so gorgeous.
I like, whoa, like where are the filming locations? Holy shit.
So Hokkaido, all of them.
Also,
no idea.
I was looking at the notes on Amazon Prime, and the girl who got her face cut up is actually like a fashion model. She's one of the she won most beautiful.
I was going to say that's one thing I was going to say. I was like, lady gets cut up, still looks hotter than 90% of the women.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing, is that just bridges the sympathy gap. That's the thing. It's good stuff.
Well, even
like I actually went and watched.
She's in Deadpool 2, I think.
Who is?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, she is.
Oh. So I watched the original and then this one back to back.
Oh, nice. What'd you think?
So they changed a lot, but they did it in such a smart, subtle way, and still hit all the same beats. And because I really like the original, I think it's probably Clint's best film. And
I would agree with you.
His most liberal one, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, and it's just it's so amazing to have someone like Clint do something that's so restrained, right?
Yeah.
And then still be able to have this amazing ending. And I just couldn't think this film could be better. It's so amazing. It's beautiful.
So what I like about this movie is, compared to the original, is that one, his friend comes and finds him.
Yeah. Instead of
the other way around.
Yeah.
And then also his fate at the end is much more like confused or enigmatic or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas
they don't show him strung up outside the bar in this remake.
No.
Yeah.
Where in the original Unforgiven, and it's a harrowing image.
Morgan Freeman, right?
Morgan Freeman in a casket, just like. And it's pretty dramatic. I mean, it's really heavy.
What I'm saying is Ken Watanabe's character doesn't get the title card where it says he goes to San Francisco and makes a bunch of money in dry goods. Like he just walks out into the snow, and then it's like, oh, the kid and the prostitute go back to his farm and take care of his kids.
Yeah,
and maybe we'll see him again in the future, but maybe we won't.
I love how in both films he's just like, what are you, 8 and 9? I'm out for 2 weeks. Peace. Like,
both films did that too. It's
hey,
like,
go
next door.
Go to that farm if somebody shows up and tries to take everything.
Go to that farm that's like 3 hours away.
Right.
Kill a chicken if you get hungry. Bye.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
that's
no,
almost
it's
that's
your
line for line,
grandfather.
isn't it? The kill a chicken to get hungry. That's great.
Yeah.
But
what, Jim? What, Jim?
Go to your grandfather, the I knew.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is interesting. I thought this is an inversion of the Shambara as it usually goes, like in the old days, the 60s and 70s. Your Ronin character, which is like Ken Watanabe, he was kind of rebels from the legal forms of Japanese law. You know, the guys who are trying to establish the thing. He does at the end. They always die. That's one of the rules of Japanese cinema. It's like anybody who breaks away from social order gets killed at the end of the film. This one, he doesn't. You know, and so it follows the original Eastwood film nicely, but also it says something about how this has evolved, and he's not the bad guy, he's the good guy, and Japanese law is the bad guy now. You know, that's
this film is a little tiny bit more gratifying at the end too when he takes all those guys out. Eastwood does take a lot of guys out, but it's
not in one room.
That was nuts. That's
like
crazy.
Eastwood didn't get hurt like that, and he didn't get like he just shot a couple people, and when he said, you know, anyone who doesn't want to get shot, leave, and they all
right.
Yeah.
Well, and in
this one, Ken actually, I mean, his character, like he fucking went at those dudes, and he took shots, and it was like a struggle, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and Eastwood gets beaten up. He just gets the shit kicked out of him.
Well, the first time.
Yeah.
And Watanabe gets his face cut up with the broken bottle.
Yeah.
And there's that amazing scene where he wakes up and the prostitute's taking care of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do I look like you?"
Yeah.
Which is a shitty thing to say. Like that's a
Well,
terrible thing.
I know. And I think that was in place of so in Eastwood's though, she says, you know, your friends have been taking free advances on the payment.
Yeah.
She's like, do you want a free advance? And he says, I guess not. And then she says, oh, I didn't mean with me, because she's self-conscious of her cut up face.
Right.
And thinks that he's just saying no because he doesn't want to have sex with her.
Wow.
And of course, and he has to say, no, it's not because you're cut up face, it's because of my wife, you know. So maybe that was sort of that play, because they didn't do that, you know, they did what Tad said instead in this one.
Yeah, more of a kindred spirit thing.
Yeah.
Did anybody else feel like the one weak link for me compared to the original was the villain?
Oh no, Oshii! I think Oshii is incredible.
No, Gene Hackman was like.
Gene Hackman is a slime ball in that.
And
Oshii has
Snidely Whiplash with the fucking mustache.
Oshii has the moment where he's in the prison cell with the second brother.
That's my favorite scene with him, and then the rest of it I didn't like as much.
And he's like, I don't like the fact that you cut up a woman. Like that's what cowards do.
Right.
And he's like, you can die. I don't care.
Right.
Like I'm only here to enforce the law. Like,
but
I like Hackman.
I think Chris has a good point, because there's something about how Hackman's character is written and how he portrays it that is so narcissistic and
in his head he thinks he's the good guy.
But Oshii does too, because after he says that, he turns to the writer and he goes, "Don't write that."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I know, but there's something smarmy about Hackman, the way he plays it. There's something, he thinks he's God, and
Gene Hackman's a good actor, is what we're saying here.
Yeah.
He's so good with it.
I thought he was.
I
did he get the Oscar, or did Morgan Freeman get the Oscar? That year.
I can look it up.
I think Freeman might have got it.
Yeah, it won like.
As I recall, Hackman's character was funny though, and I didn't think of this
more funny.
Oh, the whole Duck of Death thing, that was great. Also, having the Richard Harris character and the journalist was wonderful.
Yeah, the journalist is like this. Like that was interesting. Like they're so comparable. Like one of the few instances where I felt like the characters between the two movies were played very comparably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very much just an observer of what's happening.
I thought
Okay,
the
hold on.
Japanese,
It won. Okay, in whatever year it was, it won Best Picture, Best Director, and Gene Hackman won Best Supporting Actor.
Okay, so Hackman got it right.
Yeah, and he got
that's deserved for sure.
and Clint Eastwood was nominated but not win. So that's what's going on with that one. And get one best. Oh, that's Golden Globes Best Director, Best Supporting Actor.
Sorry, I cut you off, Jim.
I think I forgot again.
You guys, Jim is still the lowest person in the mix. We got to listen for him. So
turn up if you can.
There's something about
the Harris character.
Yeah.
English. What's its name?
English Bob.
English Bob.
English Bob.
I thought that was the character that the Japanese did better, because Harris's character seems like a fuck up from the get-go.
Yeah.
And the other guy, I was a little confused as to who he was. You know, he sort of comes into town as like, does he know the brothel owner? It's like, where did he come from? You know? And
he was.
He's the guy with the bowler hat. He just looks so different without that bowler hat on.
Yeah, he was more distinguished in the Japanese one.
Yeah,
but he still turns out to be a fuck up.
I love the transliteration of the whole speech he gave about how people would never try to assassinate the queen. Yeah, in fact, he switched it all. It was hysterical. It was actually the funniest part of the remake we just saw.
There's something else about the tone where I was like I went back and thought about the original. It's like the tone in that movie was fairly specific, like grim, like it's like a level of like serious and grim. And I know that the whole thing was they were really trying to lean into the fact that we're not gonna like just blow through the violence. We're gonna like treat every bullet seriously in this movie.
Right.
And then you go and you look at the Japanese one, and they basically did the same thing, but that's not a new thing for a lot of the Japanese movies I've seen.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing they're doing most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
So
the
that's why
level of like seriousness in this
think that's
movie
why
did not feel out of like, it felt very consistent with most of the Japanese language movies of this ilk that I've seen in the last 20 years.
That's probably why it was a good choice for a remake for Japanese cinema.
Yeah.
Fit right in.
Well, there's also that thin barrier between westerns and samurai films. There's like they're almost
no. So that's the thing. It's they're taking back the samurai idea from westerns that had been taken from them. So there's two things that I want to say about this. One is that the director is he's a Korean Japanese person. They're called Zainini, I think. And it's basically it's a group of Korean people who moved to Japan pre-World War II and are an ethnic minority in Japan and are looked down upon as being lesser than the normal people who live there, which is why I think he picked the Ainu as being a focus of this movie. The other thing is that there are brutal fucking scenes in this movie that they don't shy away from. No. The part where they're in the floodplain with the tree stumps.
Yeah.
And the guy's got the broken leg.
Oh my God.
They're just standing there and they're like, no, you kill him.
That fucking
like,
bone sticking out was disgusting.
Yeah, it's like, no, you kill him. No, you kill him. No, you
that was
kill
like
him.
that was a goddamn femur bone, dude.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. His leg is backwards. Right?
Yeah,
It's like his foot is literally pointed the other way in that movie or in that moment.
This is what large caliber weapons did to people back then.
Very often. In that scene, though, I actually thought the original film did it better because in the original film, they don't ever go down and meet the guy. They're still up on the ridge and they're yelling at him. And he's like, there's one part where Eastwood's character finally says, God damn it, will you go give him some water? Because he keeps going like, my throat, I'm dry, give me some water. And his buddy's like, all right, you're not going to shoot, right? No, we're not going to shoot you. Give him some water. And he goes and gives him the water. It's just, oh my God, it's so fucking perfect.
See, I think it's better. I think it's better in this one because Watanabe taking the fucking Wakashi out and stabbing him
repeatedly.
and Kaijo not shooting him, and that's where he gives him the gun and says, "I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore."
Mhm.
I think that works way better. Like, I think it works better because, like, he watched him just push him on the ground and just stab him multiple times with the wakizashi.
I still like the original that scene better, but I do like, you know what I loved in this film was the scene where when they're riding away from that, and it's when the friend character says, you know, I'm gonna leave, basically.
Mhm.
That actor's performance in that moment,
Oh God, he was good.
when he breaks down crying,
Mhm.
I mean, that was just beautiful. It was
Well, him laughing in the floodplain too, when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't shoot him and he just starts laughing.
Yeah.
Like, it's
What a performance.
oh,
Yeah.
Really good acting in this.
Well,
movie.
it's
That's
the
where you-
approach to pathos is interesting here, because in the original, the pathos was in the situation where the guy was dying and no one wanted to help him, and you kept hearing his cries, and it kind of made you feel bad because pathos is sorrow that you can't touch. That's how it works. In the remake, it was different because the pathos was in the Morgan Freeman character, I guess you want to call him.
Yeah.
It was their reaction to it. At the time, it was just dispensed and almost it was disgusting, you know, in terms of like blood and guts. And the guy had to kill the guy like a wild animal, just stab him until he stopped moving. It was a different feel for the pathos of the original film.
Well, here's something that didn't translate though from the original to this film, and that is in the original film, there is a huge focus on what violence actually is and what it means to be violent and how violence takes place. The exploration of violence in the original film is very like, listen, this is hard, it's brutal, it's ugly, it's very human. You can't shy away from it, and it's not showy. It's not. I'm not saying that this new one did that, but I love the scene. One of the best scenes is when Hackman pulls his gun. He says, "That's about as fast as I can pull my gun and actually maybe hit something, you know, that's not far away." Like, they break it down, and then again up on the rocks, shooting on it. Did you get him? Yeah, I think I got him. They don't even show him get hit. Actually, he just goes. Eastwood goes, I think I got him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And the kid's going, is he gonna die? Is he gonna die? He's like, yeah, he'll die. It's just there's something about that which was like the antithesis of every Western that had come before it. And it's so beautiful and human. And this movie, you know, touches on that a tiny bit, but it doesn't really I don't know. Like that whole thing is a little bit lost. Doesn't make it a worse film. It's just different.
Hackman's explanation of how you don't have to be the fastest draw.
Yes,
you just have to have the best mind.
Level head.
Yeah, in the gunfight. The Japanese don't have that, like,
because they're always level headed.
Well, no, but they don't have that history of violence that
Right.
America does. And you have to explain that to an American audience. And you don't have to explain that to a Japanese audience, because to a Japanese audience, all violence is essentially premeditated or somehow mental.
Well, there's just something about that original film, how they deal with those the few violent acts in the film, that I think they present it in a way that's like,
I gotta go watch that.
it's very unique. It's very like, and they have to explain, because you've seen so many Westerns programming you to be like, oh, it's like Quick Draw McGraw, you know, it's just bam, bam, you know, and we're always shooting and yeehaw and all that shit.
And once a person is shot, boom, they're dead.
Yeah.
One of the reasons Eastwood bought the script from David Peebles is the fact that it's talked about. He wanted to talk about gang violence, which was a big thing in that era, and then you want to talk about how it's people getting desensitized to it and what violence really is and what it really does. And he kept hitting that theme over and over again in that one. So the meaning of the original film was a little different from this one, which was more like this was institutional violence versus personal violence versus vengeance kind of thing. It's a different kind of message.
Yeah,
well, Oshii like wakes up at the end of that fight scene in the bar and like tries to shoot him, and he can't, and it's too heavy.
Too heavy.
Which was
like with the fucking sword halfway inside of him. Yeah. And that's such a good fucking scene. Like it's so gorgeous for the human emotion of like, no, I'm going to get you. I can't. I actually can't. I physically
can't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard to say, like, they're both so brilliant. This is a really good film. I think maybe I might like the original better, but that might just be because I saw it first. But this is an amazing film.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I like the original better only because it was the original.
I like this one better. I like this one better because I think it says more things. That's
I disagree.
Dan, what do you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was much better than I thought it would be. Going into it, I said, "Oh, so the Ainu must be replacement
Native Americans."
Yes, absolutely.
Which was not explored in the first film.
No, not at all.
Well, in the first film, it's Morgan Freeman is married to a squaw.
Yeah.
Right. And in this one, they flipped it and had the Bill Mummy or Will Money character married to one. I thought it went a long ways to make a good adaptation, a good remake. I've seen so many bad remakes that I was really skeptical going into it.
Can we talk about Ken Watanabe's facial acting in this?
Yeah, this is probably one of the best things I've seen him do, because when he does a lot of American films, he's fine, but like this was really special.
The parts in this movie where he's standing and someone's behind him talking, and he just like changes his face to be like tighter or wider. Like, he's so fucking good at it, and it tells the whole story. Like, he doesn't have to say anything in those scenes, and he can just squint or open his eyes or tighten his mouth or not, and it just conveys all the emotion of the entire scene that's just happened or is about to happen, and it's just fucking fantastic.
I heard something on a podcast where someone said the difference between an actor and a movie star is a movie star knows exactly what every single muscle in their face does.
Yeah.